Welcome to Matburn. Today we're with Michelle Popke, head of the Popke Foundation. And we got Big Manny. It's his first time on Matburn. Hi, Manny. Hey. And Manny used to train with Michelle's son down in Brandon, Florida, Alex, who's somewhere in the room there. Where is
Hi, Alex.
Oh, say hello, Alex. As you can see, they both like weight training. Sorry about the dog. Manny just got here. He's very excited. Okay. So we used to bring Manny down to Brandon every summer to train with Coach Cozart. And that's where we met Alex. I think it was his first year wrestling, the first time we came down. And, that I met Alex's dad, Kevin. And Kevin and I almost hit it off instantly. And we would hang out. We were like the crazy dads that would hang out and watch the entire practice because we loved it so much. And we would both, we both would do anything to help our kids succeed. So every summer, he kept inviting us back down, and we keep coming back down. And I think Manny stayed with you for a little while. Kevin was one of those guys that you're just drawn to, and everybody loved him. But unfortunately, he did pass away a few years ago. And but because of that, you wanted to honor his memory by creating the Kevin Popke Foundation. So what I would like you to do, Michelle, is tell us about Kevin, the person, his background, stuff like that. Then let's talk about how much you loved Brandon wrestling, and we'll just get into why you started the foundation after that and what it does. So if you could
Sure.
do those things, I'd really appreciate it.
Sure. It's always great to talk about Kevin. He was rarely special. We were married 27 years, got 4 great kids and 4 grandkids together. Alex is our baby. And Alex started wrestling as a freshman. And Kevin, was a military guy. He was an airborne ranger. He retired as a first sergeant in the 82nd Airborne Division. And his whole adult life was about training young men and how do you turn them into warriors? How do you, build up their discipline and their self-esteem and their confidence so they can go out and, they're fully trained to fight and win the nation's wars. And so that was the type of, from a mentorship standpoint, that mentor coach background, Kevin, that was him. And he applied that through, all aspects of his life and his job and in his personal life. But then when Alex moved from football into wrestling when he was a freshman, it was like this perfect fit for Kevin's personality and his background not to be a coach because he knew nothing about wrestling whatsoever. I laughed because our first match, everyone was yelling at Alex to sprawl, and none of us even knew what sprawl meant. And but Kevin had the desire to coach from a taking care of one another standpoint. And so kids that didn't have frankly meals, they would show up and nobody had packed them any food for after weigh-in, or kids that didn't have shoes, or their shoes were falling apart or whatever. Kevin noticed those things. And so not only were we, taking care of our kid, but he, made sure that the other kids that didn't have support structures were also being taken care of. And him and one of the other dads, Sean Ridley, they really started doing that the second year that Alex was on the team. And that just kind of became whoops, did I lose you there? That just kind of became what the norm was. And it's funny, when Kevin got killed, one of the wrestlers said, uh, they were all, really obviously broken up and sad, but I'll never forget one of them said he was the best team mom we ever had. And he would have loved that because
Yeah.
he was, he made sure everybody had everything they needed, and he just loved the sport. We loved, I was telling you earlier what we call that warrior ethos, that it's such a sport where you stand on your own and you have to have the discipline and the fortitude to fight your way back, and to, you know, there's nowhere to hide. And that's a lot, like life, but certainly a lot like the military. So that was something super important to us, that we, want to inculcate those type of traits in our son. So when Kevin passed, people always want to give you flowers and stuff like that, and that's not important to me. So we asked that people just do donations, and they all went to support the Brandon wrestling team. Now, Brandon is a disadvantaged school. Over 50% of the students are on free lunch, and there's a lot of kids that could use financial assistance. And we were already doing that and supporting, some individual wrestlers, passing the hat to try and get kids to tournaments, and, make sure they had what they needed. So that was a great way for me to honor Kevin's memory and to do something that was, helpful and not just going to go to waste. And it was, people could put their money and show their appreciation for, Kevin and his life, and in a way that was productive. So it was very informal, obviously that week of the funeral, but it grew. And I have some really wonderful friends that are philanthropists, and they helped us. And so we actually formalized it as a formal charity. And we do 2 events a year with the foundation, and one of them is focused on the Brandon wrestling team. The other line of effort for the charity is focused towards veterans. But for the team, we do a pork butt smoke every year, and that allows us to raise enough money to pay for all of the grants that we do throughout the year, to pay for getting kids to tournaments and equipment. But we also do scholarships every year. So and what's great about our scholarship is once you get it, as long as you're keeping your grades up, we reinstate it for 4 years. And so Joe Marcano is going to be a senior this year coming up. And Joe, this will be his 4th installment for his scholarship. So we're getting ready to award our latest one for class of 2020 as soon as we can all congregate again. And I'm just really proud of that. So I think it's something.
Tell everybody who the recipient is this year.
So her name is Emma Jones, and she's actually the current captain of the Brandon wrestling team. She's a military kid too, so that's resonates with us.
And with us, because we're big into girls wrestling, and she was the first female wrestler on the Brandon team.
I don't. It's certainly on the varsity. I don't know if they've had any other on the JV, but as long as I've been there, I've never seen a female on the varsity team. And she transferred in this year, and Russ made her the captain. So that speaks volumes, that she was able to come in and integrate so well into the team and be a leader. I know he's really personally impressed with her. He spoke with me when we had our pork butt smoke in February. So, and I've met her, and she seems like a great gal. She had a really awesome essay, and we're excited to award her that scholarship this year.
And she was also from a military family as well, right?
She was, yeah. Yep.
And you were in the military yourself?
I was. I'm a retired Chief Warrant Officer 3, intelligence officer, and I work as an Air Force civilian now at U.S. Special Operations Command at MacDill Air Force Base.
So we'd like to thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thanks. It's my pleasure. It was my privilege.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking when I found out about Kevin, and I didn't find out until months afterwards by accidentally sending him a text message asking how Alex was doing. Kevin had shared Alex's competition schedule for that season with me, and so I could follow his career. But I wasn't getting any responses from Kevin until you sent back that he had died in a motorcycle accident, and I just couldn't believe it, because I felt like this was the kind of guy I was going to be friends with for forever,
Mhm.
you know. And I know that he was the love of your life, but one thing that came across to me is how dedicated and how much he loved his family. He would give everything for them. It was my impression. So
It's accurate.
yeah, I
He was a
think that
great dad,
he
great husband.
certainly seemed like it. Yeah, yeah. I really, really liked him. I think I've told you that before.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was great is that Manny and Alex bonded almost the same way. I mean, they were inseparable. Whenever we would go down there for the camps, and they'd spend the whole day together, we started training Alex with weights and taught him how to lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wanted to look like Manny. And one of the I know heartbreaking things about it is that Kevin never got to see Alex win the state championship.
Yeah, that was a
But
real Cinderella story,
but he
for a
did,
kid that,
and I
yeah, for a
couldn't
kid
be.
that hadn't wrestled, and to, I mean, he dedicated his senior year to, to that goal, and he achieved it. So it was awesome. I mean, we couldn't have been prouder of him.
I couldn't have been prouder of him. We were so excited for him when we heard. Um, so, what is the foundation up to next?
Well, we had 2 events scheduled for the summer. Hopefully, I'm not sure that the June one's going to go. It's not looking good right now. So we do this event called Songwriters for Vets, and this will be our third one this summer. And it's focused on, we bring in songwriters from Nashville, and these are some of the best songwriters. They're all actually, Wyatt Durrett just won Song of the Year a few months ago for Beautiful Crazy with Luke Combs. And one of the other songwriters wrote She Got the Best of Me last year for Luke Combs. So these are really talented people. And they come down and we do a big event. I'm also on a charity called Other Side of the Dunes, and we build customized beach wheelchairs for paralyzed veterans. So we give a beach wheelchair at the event, and we do an auction and raise money to support different charities. So each year I pick 3 veterans-based charities that the foundation's going to support, and we do different things with it. So besides the beach wheelchairs, we do another charity called the Stano Foundation that does gift bags for homeless veterans. Liberty, it's a local Tampa Bay based area where they have 5 different homeless veterans homes, and these guys come and they live for free, and different charities help feed them, and provide maintenance of the houses, that kind of thing. So this year we're going to do direct support to Liberty Manor. We've also done support to a group called Task Force Dagger, which takes care of special operations families and special operators that have been injured. And then finally this year, we're also selected the Special Operations Warrior Foundation, and they provide scholarships for special operations soldiers, sailors, and airmen and Marines that have been killed. They do scholarships for their children. And I've got a personal friend that her dad was killed, and she came up through that program. So I've seen it in action, and it's a wonderful foundation. So I'm not going to build or there's a lot of great things out there that are already in place. So we've got enough momentum with our foundation that we can do grants to these other charity groups and then partner with them. And so that's kind of the approach we take for our support to the veterans groups.
Well, I'm thrilled that you were able to take this horrible tragedy to your family and turn it into something that's so positive and helps so many people. And I participate in your Boston Butt purchase.
I know, it sounds funny, doesn't it?
It does sound a little funny.
Yeah.
But I am from Boston, so I do appreciate a good Boston butt. And I would.
Well, and they appreciate it. The ones that you donate every year, because people can either come buy them or they get donated. And so the ones that are donated, they go to Liberty Manor, that those homeless homes that I talked about. And so each year we were able to donate, 50, 55 pork butts. And this year we also did pork loins. So, that's 5 different houses with, 5 to 10 men living in each one of the homes. And you're providing meat that's going to sustain them for, a month or two, because, that's like 50 pounds of meat per house. So we really, really appreciate it. So it's a good twofer to support our charity, and it goes towards the scholarships. And then you're also feeding a homeless veteran. So,
so if you're in the
one.
Brandon area, you can actually pick up the butt and have it for yourself. But if you live outside, like we do, you can donate it to the Veterans Association.
And
so how can
we do that every year at the Tony Ippolito tournament? We actually bring this big pork butt smoker, and we do it in the Brandon parking lot.
How can people donate to your foundation?
So it's the kevinpopkefoundation.org, all one word. And Scott, hopefully you can put up a link to the webpage, would be great. When you post would be awesome. And it's a nonprofit. You can hold it off on your taxes. We'll send you a tax receipt if you request one. And there's also pictures of our past scholarship recipients and some of the projects that we worked on. So you can take a look at it, and it tells a little bit more of our story.
I know that once I did donate, I don't know how this happened, but whenever I buy something from PayPal now, I get a little box asking me if I want to donate $1 to the Kevin Popke Foundation.
You do, really?
Yeah. So I do
I
that
didn't know
every
that.
single time I buy something. I check the box.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you can, on Amazon Smiles, you can donate on that too. You can select the Kevin Popke Foundation as you just have to, you can't do it like off the app. You have to do it like actually on the Amazon Smiles page. But it's the exact same website as for Amazon, and it's a great way to support. If you don't want to support our charity, there's a ton of great charities that you can pick on a drop-down menu. So I'd encourage people to consider doing that. It's an easy way to help take care of other people.
Well, thank you for spending some time with us and talking about Kevin and his life and your foundation.
Thank you.
And I know that you're going to be, you're also a wine aficionado. So I wish you well in those future endeavors of wherever that may take you. And I want to thank you for watching my boy when he came down to visit you and taking good care of him.
Of course. It was, Kevin really liked Manny, and he loved following him and seeing all of his achievements in wrestling and school and stuff. So I know he was super proud of him, and he would have missed not seeing, Manny's senior year. I know that was a huge year for him, and Kevin would have loved watching that.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, both our boys turned into fine young men. So
they did.
Yeah, we did a good job.
We did.
All right, Michelle. Thank you very much. Hopefully,
all right,
talk to you soon.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, Scott.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.